And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time?
Emergency traffic at this time.
And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the loudest, fullest sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shot. And today we're currently featuring over 1,900 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. Our mission statement for the network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher degree of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 4 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia, trying to get the best signal possible from our 100-watt friends. Now the audio from these 4 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also on this selector is our local receiver audio. And today our local receiver is running 3 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and the other number 3 aimed at 134 degrees. In addition, 2 of the 3 may be rotated separately. They are selected by a 6-position rotary selector. Also today, on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR specially oriented dipole antenna. One leg of this dipole is broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg is broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today, we'll be running our input source indicator, so when we switch from an Internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA 5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you will protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you will reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this is an area of the band where we have many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their bandpass to no wider than 100 to 2900. Again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And now let's check in and see if Charlie K1GZL is on frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up north in northern New Hampshire, near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Charlie, got a copy?
Yes, Jim, I have a beautiful copy. You were peaking 20 over 9 direct, and right now you're 5 over, so there is QS Baker. This, of course, being the 19th of November 2021, and it's 3:37 in the afternoon. 5 minutes ago, we had a very heavy snow shower, and about 35 minutes before that, we had a blinding one for 15 minutes. So we picked up a good solid inch and a half today. Yesterday, we lost all of our snow due to 50 degrees. By the way, I have an excellent recording, at least I hope so, if it holds up, of Captain Mike, and this was on 40 meters, and I picked him up in northern Ohio, and I ran a power check. You talk about QRP, and this was when he wasn't at his maximum peak. I got it down to 4/10 of a watt output, and he copied Q5. Then I went down further. I was just cut the audio way down below that. So I was down to about 1/40th of 1 watt. At that point, he couldn't tell what I was saying, but he could hear me in there. So that's a very small power compared to a, say, 60-watt light bulb. Jim, if you copy, I'll play Captain Mike.
Yes, sir. Excellent copy. Roll tape.
Yes, sir. Excellent copy. Roll tape.
Okay, let's see if we got it. Wait a minute. Here we go.
With Whiskey Alpha 3 Oscar, we're at 37,000 just over Fort Wayne, Indiana, showing about 450 knots right now, Charlie, with a 30-knot headwind here, and again, we're just under 500 miles from Philly. ETA into Philadelphia is 1750. That's 150 your time, Charlie, and the temp up here this morning is minus 40 degrees here, and smooth, so good copy on both of you, and I'm glad to hear you're hearing Mike over there in Pittsburgh. He's about to head out to Weirton here in about 45 minutes or so. WA30 from KX4 Whiskey Charlie. Better for you over there without that line noise, I suppose, on 40 there. So anyway, yeah, great copy, and looks like we're in for some gusty winds there. They're saying it's about 090 at 17 knots, gusting to 29 into Philly. So should be a fun landing into Philly there. But the winds are straight up the runway there, so it doesn't really pose much of a problem there. But here, Mike. Well, I'm not sure how far that is from, we're only about, that's about 120 miles from you there, Mike, from Monroeville. And anyway, over to you, K1GZL from KX4 Whiskey Charlie. There goes, Charlie.
Okay, it was in northern Ohio.
On the ramp here, Charlie, at 1750, that's 150 Eastern, and we are upper side band, 40 meters, and you're 5 to I-50 now. We're facing to the south this time, so we don't have a...
Okay, I thought I had recorded him a little bit when I ran the low power check. So, that was Captain Mike, and if everything goes okay, in 2 days, late Sunday, early Sunday evening, he's going to be in the shack with his co-pilot Jay. So that's going to be fun. Although they have to leave to drive back to Logan Airport in Boston. They'll have to leave around 11 o'clock Monday morning. So we'll have a few hours when he's here in the daytime. KC9VKV, I hope you heard that recording. K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie, just absolutely excellent. Now, how much power were you running at the minimum time?
Were you running at the minimum time?
All right. I was down to the lowest, the 7,300 will go. There are 2 steps there. The next to the lowest is 1 watt, and I went down to 4/10 of 1 watt. And then I cut my audio back much further, so I was down to, it looks like a 40th of a watt at the lowest. Although he had trouble copying me, he could hear my voice. Although he had solid copy at just 4/10 of 1 watt, or about 1/60th of a 60-watt light bulb. Go ahead.
Roger, that's just amazing. You talk about the band being in good condition.
You talk about the band being in good condition.
Yeah, that was right here on 40 meters. Of course, we had to use upper sideband because his equipment is only designed for upper sideband, being some kind of a military Collins, and he himself runs about 400 watts. But during that test, he was running 20 to 25 over 9. However, just following that test, he was hitting 30 over 9, and I think he would have copied Q5 at 1/40th of a watt. Go ahead.
Roger, just amazing that you can get that kind of communications. Of course, though, he has the height advantage there, Roger.
He has the height advantage there, Roger.
Well, it's remarkable. It's not necessarily the height if the emergency. When he was on the runway, when he was sitting on the rampart, he was 20 over 9. He was banging in right from the ramp, and in Philadelphia, I don't have any 40-meter antenna that favors that area at all. So it's not always necessarily the height, but it just turns out to be the propagation was very, very good. I'll tell you, it was nice. Go ahead.
Roger, I was thinking of the VHF aspects of that aircraft. I somehow wasn't thinking about 40 meters. Obviously, height is not quite as important on 40 meters as it would be on VHF or UHF.
It would be on VHF or UHF.
Well, it depends if you're using the ionosphere or not. If you're going ground wave, of course, height always helps. And if you're on a location where you have a downslope, that's all better. But on the VHF S, for the most part, you're using a line of sight. And if you can get an antenna up that will clear nearby objects, that'll do a very, very good job. If you're down in a deep valley somewhere and live in a deep valley and with mountains all around you, 75 meters before it skips over is very good. The high angle goes straight up to the ionosphere and dump right back down to Earth. However, given the way it works, to get the maximum distance, you don't want high hills around you. When you get high hills all around you, it's going to attenuate, like in my case, say to Central Europe and Southern Europe. I'm blocked by hills, and I still have trouble trying to match that dipole I have up there broadside down to Miami and up to Northwest Europe, but unfortunately I can't match it, and I'm trying to figure out why. Look, Jim, I won't hold it any longer. I know that there are many people who would like to work you. Right now, the snow is very light. It's just spitting out there, and it's in the upper 20s. Looks like the daytime high temperature today might have touched 30, and that was it. KC9VKV, by the way, I think I have a little view on here.
Somehow, wasn't thinking about 40 meters. Obviously, height is not quite as important on 40 meters as it would be on VHF or UHF.
Okay, that is the case. Back to you, Jim. I hope that all came through. KC9VKV, K1GZL. And I have a schedule with Captain Mike tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock in the morning. I've got to drag myself out of bed. Yeah, go ahead.
Roger, Charlie, just one parting question. Now, in your estimation, you're receiving Captain Mike, when he's at 30,000 feet, are you receiving him, do you think, ground wave or skywave?
Ground wave or skywave?
Oh, it's skywave. It's always skywave. Oh, yes, yes. He's not close enough for ground wave. He'd have to be about 250 miles away for the ground wave to work. However, when I work him on 40, I'm working him on skywave, and of course, the same on 20 meters. It's off the ionosphere there, Jim. It's really remarkable what can happen. And boy, if I lose this 40-meter antenna, well, I can get on with my cloud warmer, but compared to the quad, yike, it's not so good. Go ahead.
Roger, Charlie. Well, listen, 73 of that way, sir, is always a splendid report.
There is always a splendid report.
Okay, thank you very much. By the way, from your home there in southern Indiana, you're blasting in 25 over 9. 25 over 9 right now. You're sitting right in my lap, practically. Okay, Jim, always a great working you there, and we'll catch you on, hopefully, next week. The week after, though, is questionable. I may not be here. I'm not sure. But next week, I should be. KC9VKV, K1, and there goes my voice, K1GZL, running 900 watts.
Roger, Charlie. 73, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. And just a reminder, this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. My name is Jim, and I'm better known in some circles as Dr. VKV. And we're recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We'll post this recording up on YouTube in the next couple of days. So when you go to YouTube, and we're going to try something a little different here this time, you do a call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That's KC9VKV logbook on a YouTube search, and that will bring up this recording as number 1, but it will also bring up over 1,900 other Qso-Vlogs in a sequence order. So when you go to YouTube, do that call letter search, KC9VKV logbook, and that will take you to our main page for Qso-Vlogs. And so that being said, let's move along here. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Here, if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Kilo Golf Zero Uniform Hotel.
Kilo Golf Uniform. Come back with the call sign slowly phonetically, please.
With the call sign slowly phonetically, please. Kilo Golf Zero Uniform Hotel.
Uniform Hotel. Roger, Roger. And so you are transmitting from Zeroland, is that a Roger?
So you are transmitting from Zeroland, is that a Roger? That is correct, in Olathe, Kansas. It's the south west corner of Kansas City.
Roger, Roger. What's the name there, sir?
Roger, Roger. What's the name there, sir? The name is Dick, Delta India Charlie Kilo. You helped me with my radio about 11 months ago, and I've made a few changes, so I just wanted to check back with you.
Roger, what radio is that you're running, sir?
Roger, what radio is that you're running, sir? Running Yaesu FTDX 3000.
All right, it sounds pretty good. We might run through and see if we're, hitting all the high points there. Compressor on at a 3, is that a Roger?
The high points there, compressor on at a 3, is that a Roger? Compression is right now it's between 3 and 7.
Roger, want it on 3. 7's too hot. 3, for all practical purposes, 3 will give you the same thing as 7 without the suck-up. So I would suggest running that compressor on the 3.
So I would suggest running that compressor on the 3. Okay, the mic gain is right at 20 right now.
Roger. Important point is how does it affect your ALC? You might want to check that if you go to your ALC with mic gain in hand and do 100, 100, 100, 100 quick tempo to keep that meter up so you can read it, and set it for mid-scale 2/3 by way of mic gain control.
Set it for mid-scale 2/3 by way of mic gain control. Okay, the ALC now is, it's right at close to the top.
Roger, we're looking for 2/3 max. Ideally, you would be running between mid-scale and 2/3. Roger, Roger.
You would be running between mid-scale and 2/3. Roger, Roger. Okay, I backed it down a little bit.
Yes, sir. You need a little bit of dynamic range in the words. Otherwise, they start to become blurry. And blurry words are difficult to understand. And what we want is a crystal clear audio that a person will have to be deaf not to understand it.
A person will have to be deaf not to understand it. Okay. Does it sound all right to you now?
Yes, sir. Sounds perfect. And where were you again there, sir? Your geographic location?
And where were you again there, sir? Your geographic location? Right around the Kansas City area.
Oh, Roger that, sir. Roger that. Yeah, I think you're all together there. Why don't you? Do you have a radio story? I'd love about a 2-minute radio story if you might have one.
I'd love about a 2-minute radio story if you might have one. Test audio.
Frequencies in use. Frequency is in use.
You're asking me for frequencies in use. Frequency is in use.
Yeah, if you happen to have a radio story, I would love to have one from you.
If you happen to have a radio story, I would love to have one from you. Well, I've made some changes on my system here. I'm running a 40-meter inverted V Wyndham, and I raised it from 36 feet up to about 45 feet and flattened it out a little bit. It's got an apex of about maybe 105 degrees, and replaced the coax. I did have LMR 400 and I went to LMR 600, so those are the changes that I've made to the station.
Roger, Dick. Now, did you notice a difference when you went from LMR 400 to 600?
When you went from LMR 400 to 600? Well, the only proof that I have, the measurable proof, is I chase parks on the air, and instead of logging 2, 3, 4 parks a day, I'm logging 10, 12 parks a day.
Roger that. Roger that. Well, it's 400 for the frequency. We're talking 40 meters, Roger?
400 40 meters, Roger? Yes.
Roger. I'm sure 400 and 600 would, either one, I think, would be. I wouldn't kick either one of those out of bed, Roger.
I wouldn't kick either one of those out of bed, Roger. Yeah, I have limited space here. I'm in in fact, I'm in an HOA, and I have a 50-foot Roan tower with a dual band, 10-foot dual band on top of it. So that's another. The HOA declaration says no outdoor antennas without approval, and I turned in 2 applications over a 10-month period and never got any word back from them, and the ARRL attorney told me that they have 30 days to respond, which they did not. So I have a 50-foot tower in my backyard.
Roger. Now I just moved over to my local antenna, and you're about 20 over there, so just a beautiful signal. If you had anything additional to add story-wise, we've got a little bit better conditions than we had, so I'd love to get as best recording as I can from you.
Okay, well, you're about 10 over here, and I've told a lot of people about you, and hopefully they've checked in and done some adjustments on their radio so they could get better reception out there. So I appreciate all you do, and I'm going to let someone else do their things. Thanks for your help, Jim. I appreciate it. 73.
Roger, Dick. You're looking at your audio on a spectrum analyzer. You're just from here to there, just all the way across the band. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. 73, sir, thanks for dropping by, and you have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Whiskey 8, X-ray Zulu.
Whiskey 8 station, come back slowly phonetically with the call sign.
Yes, this is Whiskey 8, X-ray Zulu, handles Dan, located just north of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
All right, Dan, and I've got you blinking in 8-land. You are transmitting from 8-land, Roger.
Yes, we've moved all over the country and several different areas, and we got the Whiskey 8 X-ray call sign, believing we'll be moving back over toward the Ohio area, and that has not happened yet.
Roger, Roger. So what area are region are you in officially? Is it 8?
No, it's 3. We're located 25 miles due north of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
All right, I've got you on 3 now. I have this map, and right now I have a discrepancy in my lighting. But now it's all right. All right, you're blinking in 3-land now. And Dan, what radio are you running, sir?
I'm using an ICOM 7300, 100 watts, using a hand mic, and it's going into a ZS6 BKW modified G5 RV.
Roger, Roger. Well, you are operating that hand mic absolutely correctly. I hear no transients, just beautiful. So you've got it to the corner of your mouth, Roger?
Yes, and now right now I am running about 98%, so around 98 watts. My compression is set at 3. My mic gain is at 50%, and I'm banging the ALC a little above 2/3 of the way up. Go ahead.
Roger. It looks like 2/3. It doesn't look over that because your dynamic range is 3 dB. When you start crowding that and pushing that ALC harder, your dynamic range starts to collapse, and you get to that 2 dB area, 1 dB, and it just starts to blur. So you're well below that now, Roger.
Okay, I have brought that down a bit, but looks like I could probably bring it down a little bit further, and I'll do so. So let me do that right now. Okay, I have the mic gain at 35%, and so back down from 50% there. How are we sounding now?
Right, you want to run it between mid-scale and 2/3. You want to have those upper excursions up to 2/3, and so you'll be running mid-scale to 2/3 is proper operation for your ALC.
Okay,
Well, we're still playing with it a little bit. Maybe it's just my voice. It's coming up 2/3 and just a little bit more. I'm at 30% now, so I'll take it down a little further. Okay, I have the mic gain down at 20% now, and that has brought the ALC down considerably. How are we sounding to you now?
Still, you're still up there. But like I say, what you want to do is set that mic gain to where your ALC is running mid-scale to 2/3. That ALC is your Bible, and it'll tell you more about what's going on in that radio than anybody. So trust that ALC, set your audio to where your ALC is running mid-scale to 2/3, and you'll be just perfect.
All right. Well, listen, thank you very much. I'll do that. I'll let you move on to someone else. And thank you very much. I really appreciate the help there. KC9VKV, this is Whiskey 8 X-Ray Zulu. Thank you very much.
Roger. Dan, before you go, sir, I might comment that looking at your audio on the spectrum analyzer, you could use a little more bottom end, a couple of clicks on the bottom end. I'd love for you to crank in that and let me hear you with that, Roger.
Well, I can't tell you, it would take me a couple of moments to do that, and I've got someone coming at the door here. My compression, since I brought down the ALC, is not coming up very much, even though I have it left at 3. I'll take the note of it and get back to that, and I apologize for having to run here.
That's quite all right, sir. 73, and mic compression at 3, and ALC mid-scale to 2/3, and plus 2 clicks bottom end EQ. That'll do great. Catch you later, sir, and we'll say 73. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you're Alpha 3, November 1, give me a shout. If you're Alpha 2,
Mike with Eagle.
Somebody was just cleared off there on Arlington. Station, loudest station, come back and try it again.
Arlington, station, loudest station, come back and try it again.
Kilo Bravo 2, Kilo Delta Yankee.
Station Indian Yankee. Station Indian Yankee, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign, please.
Slowly, phonetically with your call sign, please.
Kilo Bravo 2, Kilo Delta Yankee.
Kilo Delta Yankee, is that Roger?
Kilo Delta Yankee, is that Roger?
Roger, Roger.
Okay, and what's the name there?
My name is Barney, Bravo Alpha Romeo, November Echo Yankee.
Roger, Barney, and what radio are you running?
Roger, Barney, and what radio are you running?
FT891. I spent quite a bit of time with you on this last week and we got nowhere, but I figured out.
Roger, I have somebody that has just got to tune up on the frequency. Are you, Barney, geographically in Trueland?
Are you, Barney, geographically in Trueland?
Yes, I am. I'm about 20 miles northeast of Albany, New York, the capital.
Yes, sir. Okay. First off, your audio seems to be pretty hot. I would double check that your compressor is on at a 3 and that your ALC is running mid-scale to 2/3 as you check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with mic gain in hand to adjust your ALC for mid-scale to 2/3. Not nice to tune up on an active frequency. What can I say?
Okay, did this help my signal at all?
Looking pretty good. Why don't you give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system?
Looking pretty good. Why don't you give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system?
Okay, the antenna I'm running right now is a Hustler 4-band ground-mounted vertical that came with my first used radio I bought 20 years ago. It's still holding on well.
Oh, my goodness, somebody loves to tune up. You sound still hot, sir. I would double-check compressor on at a 3, and then go to your ALC, and as you speak rapidly, 100, 200, 300, so you can get the ALC meter up to see what it's doing. Adjust it for mid-scale to 2/3. It seems like you might still be hot on your ALC or somewhere. Your level seems to be hot.
Or somewhere. Your level seems to be hot.
Has this helped it at all? I'm playing with the mic gain right now. The processor set at 2. I brought the mic gain down to 15.
Yeah, leave your processor at 3. Processor on at a 3. And let me hear you. Why don't you give me what you like best about your radio? About 10 seconds worth.
What you like best about your radio? About 10 seconds worth.
Okay, this is well, yeah. Hang on, yeah. I brought the processor up to 3, and the radio works well. The only unfortunate thing is when I make all these adjustments, I can't see the ALC, so I have to make the adjustment and go back and look at the ALC when I'm done.
Is that right? Okay, well, go ahead then. Let's go ahead and look at your ALC and see how close you are. Sound like you're still. What's your mic gain right now?
How close you are? Sound like you're still. What's your mic gain right now?
My mic gain right now is set at 15.
All right, put it on 10 and let me hear you.
Put it on 10 and let me hear you.
Okay, here's the mic gain set at 10.
All right, now what I want you to do is back off that mic about 4 inches. I want you not to be closer than 4 inches working that mic, Roger. What mic are you running?
4 inches working that mic, Roger. What mic are you running?
It's a boom headset I bought online from a local fellow here in New York that makes them. It has no particular brand name. It's just something he makes and sells. Got good reviews on eAM, so if this has helped at all.
All right, so best thing to do on that headset is move that boom mic straight out as far as you can get it, and then at the last minute make a 90. Straight out as far as you can get it, and then make a 90. Roger?
Straight out as far as you can get it, and then make a 90. Roger?
Okay, I've done that. Has that helped at all? It doesn't actually come out to the front of my mouth.
Roger, it's just a short boom, Roger?
Roger, it's just a short boom, Roger?
Yes, it is.
All right, do you know where your EQ is on that radio? Well, maybe if we get some top end going there, things might start to gel. Go to your EQ and crank in 3 clicks treble boost from wherever you are.
In 3 clicks treble boost from wherever you are.
It'll take just a second.
That's all right, sir.
That's all right, sir.
You wanted me to bring the top end up a little bit, is that correct?
Yes, 3 clicks boost treble EQ from wherever you are.
Yes, 3 clicks boost treble EQ from wherever you are.
I've boosted it up. Hang on, I'm going to try something else. I got 3 adjustments for each, for high, medium, and low. I got one more thing I'll try here.
Are you saying you have a parametric 3-band EQ?
Is this,
you saying you have a parametric 3-band EQ?
Sorry, we doubled. You have a parametric 3-band EQ, is that what you're saying?
We doubled. You have a parametric 3-band EQ, is that what you're saying?
Correct.
All right, leave the shapes alone, and let's just do the pushes and minuses. Leave the parametric curve alone, and we'll just do the push. So +3 on your treble EQ from wherever you are.
So +3 on your treble EQ from wherever you are.
Okay, here's the problem. I'm not sure what you're looking for or what this radio is telling me. I have 3 adjustments for the high end. I have the EQ frequency, I have the EQ level, which I believe is in dBs, and I have the EQ bandwidth.
Yes, sir. We're talking about level. We're talking about the level right at the moment. So we want that treble EQ boosted 3 clicks additional from wherever you are. If you've done that, fine. If not, go ahead.
Oh, from wherever you are. If you've done that, fine. If not, go ahead.
Okay, I've brought it up 3 clicks.
All right. Now, you want your mid-range flat. The treble EQ, your mid-range should be flat. Mid-range flat, plus or minus nothing. Flat, Roger?
Flat, plus or minus nothing. Flat, Roger.
Okay, the settings I have for the mid-range are 1300, 5 dB, and the bandwidth at 10. Where do you want to go?
I want to go to 0. I want you to roll that mid-range EQ back to a flat.
That mid-range EQ back to a flat.
Level back to flat.
Level back to flat.
Okay, there's back to 0 on the EQ.
On the mid-range, Roger?
On the mid-range, Roger?
Correct, at 1300.
Yes, sir, good. All right, now go to your bass EQ. Roll 3 clicks roll on your bass EQ. Minus 3 clicks roll bass EQ from where you are.
3 clicks roll bass EQ from where you are.
Okay, go at the bass down 3 clicks.
Good. Now I want you to go back to your ALC and double check your ALC level from mid-scale to 2/3. Again, as you speak fairly rapidly, oh, you can't do that. Pull your, what's your mic gain?
What's your mic gain?
Actually, I'm looking at my ALC right now, and I'm half, maybe pushing 2/3 a little bit at all the settings we've just made.
Right, it's still hot, so you need to pull your mic level down. Leave your compressor at 3, but pull your mic level down. Just 7, I guess.
3, but pull your mic level down. Just 7, I guess.
There's my mic gain set to 6.
All right, so pull it up to 8.
All right, so pull it up to 8.
Okay, I brought it up to 8 right now.
All right, now I want you to move 2 inches further away from mic than where you are. 2 inches back from that mic from where you are.
2 inches back from that mic from where you are.
Okay, the mic is basically on the side of my face. I've moved it a couple inches out.
That's right. All right. Do we still have a lot of treble EQ to go, right?
We still have a lot of treble EQ to go, right?
I'm pretty sure there is, yes. For the high end, I'm pretty sure.
All right, once you add 3 more clicks treble boost from where you are, plus 3 clicks boost treble EQ from where you are.
Plus 3 clicks boost treble EQ from where you are.
Coming up.
And that's level. That's not the shape or anything of the treble EQ. It's just the plus level control.
Or anything of the treble EQ. It's just the plus level control.
Okay, you wanted the EQ level up 3 clicks. There we go.
A treble EQ up 3 clicks, Roger.
A treble EQ up 3 clicks, Roger.
I brought it up 3 clicks.
Oh, good. Now, why don't you tell me the things you like best about your radio? Let me hear you.
Why don't you tell me the things you like best about your radio? Let me hear you.
Right about now, I'm running out of things I like best about my radio. I don't know what else to say. Let me know what...
Right. I am on the Arlington SDR receiver, and the Arlington SDR receiver is the only full frequency SDR receiver that I've run across. It's good down to 100 cycles. So I'm hearing you as well in Arlington as I would on my local receiver. And you're a very broad spectrum now. I was just looking for a little more edge at the top, but you have a nice broad spectrum of audio curve. Roger?
You have a nice broad spectrum of audio curve. Roger?
Okay, that sounds like good news. Way ahead of where we were.
Yeah, and let's see, how much treble EQ do you have left? What is your boost, and where are you, and how much do you have left on treble EQ?
What is your boost, and where are you, and how much do you have left on treble EQ?
The level's at 3. I can bring that up to, I can bring it up to 10. Here's all the way up as far as it'll go. I'm guessing that's probably a bit much.
No, it sounds pretty good. You're at 10 plus 10 treble EQ boost?
No, it sounds pretty good. You're at 10 plus 10 treble EQ boost?
EQ level is 10. The bandwidth, oh, wait a minute, that's EQ 2. We're looking for treble, aren't we?
Yes, sir. Got to keep these straight now, otherwise we'll be in a big mess. Treble mid-range EQ should always be flat. Your mid-range frequency should always be flat, because the whole EQ is designed for a balance, striking a balance between the top to the mid-range and striking a balance from the bottom to the mid-range. And if you push the mid-range, then it's so much harder for the top and bottom to strike a balance.
Mid-range, then it's so much harder for the top and bottom to strike a balance.
Okay, the high, we've got the EQ level on the high end is all the way up as far as we'll go. It's at a 10. The bandwidth is set at 8.
Sounding good, sounding good. Now, do you happen to have a radio story for me, about a 2-minute or so radio story?
Happen to have a radio story for me, about a 2-minute or so radio story?
Sure, I can give you a story. I started out my ham career in high school. I took my novice exam from my shop teacher that I had back then. I passed that. Unfortunately, they were 1-year non-renewable. And right about then in high school, they invented women, and that was the end of my ham radio career for a while. About 20 years ago, 1990, a buddy of mine called up and said the local community college was giving a ham radio course. Did I want to go? I said, certainly. I missed it. So away we went, and I've started all over again. I've made it up to general. And there's my story.
And you're going to stick to it. All right. On your EQ, why don't you roll your bass EQ one more click down. Bass EQ minus 1 click from where it is.
Bass EQ minus 1 click from where it is.
Okay, I brought the bass down to a 1. It's set at 1 right now. I can go to 0.
Now that's you're talking. It's a plus 1 boost bass.
You're talking. It's a plus 1 boost bass.
Yes, it's plus 1 right now. Yes.
Yeah, I would bring that to flat. You still have a nice curve. You could afford that. From time to time, you kind of get a little heavy on the bottom end. So if you roll that bass one more click from where it was, then I think that'll take care of that. Then I think that'll take care of that.
I've got the bass set at 0. I can't go negative on the bass setting.
You can't?
You can't?
I can go negative on the bass settings, yes. It'll let me. You want to try a little negative?
I would rather go, let's see, so your mid-range EQ is flat. Is that a Roger?
So your mid-range EQ is flat. Is that a Roger?
The mid-range is set at 1300. The bandwidth level is 3, and the dB is 3, and the bandwidth is 6. I can lower the dB. I can lower it.
Yeah, we want to be flat on that mid-range. You got to be flat on the mid-range, Roger.
Be flat on that mid-range. Got to be flat on the mid-range, Roger.
Okay, I set the mid-range at 0.
Alrighty, and go ahead and take that treble EQ all the way up, full boost on your treble EQ, trying to get you a little edge on your mic there. And the problem is, see, you're so close to that mic that you're getting a lot of bottom boost, and we want a little more top end. So I want to get the top end, and then we may go back and trim some of the bottom. But right now, go ahead and full boost on your treble EQ.
Some of the bottom, but right now, go ahead and full boost on your treble EQ.
The level is at 10. That's as far as it will go. The bandwidth's at 8.
Give me about 10 seconds or 15 seconds and tell me about your antenna system. Let me see if I can find another SDR or my local antenna and get a second opinion right now. Roger?
Okay, the original antenna, the antenna one right now, is touch your vertical. I have a pushback R5 for 10 to 20 meters. It works pretty well. I have a nice beam up the attic of my garage that's disassembled. My garage that's disassembled and waiting for the funding for a rotor to come rolling through so that I can put that back up and get it working. It was really, really nice having that years ago.
Roger. And so you're down around an 8 on your mic gain. Is that a Roger?
So you're down around an 8 on your mic gain. Is that a Roger?
I'm going to have to start taking notes. Let me switch back to mic gain. We'll see what we got. My mic gain is set at an 8. I can bring it down if you wish.
No, I would leave it there. The thing is, when on your mic gain, when you start getting in those low numbers like 5, 3, something like that, it's indicative that the mic level is hot. In other words, normally you would want that mic gain to be at a 30, 40, 50, somewhere up in there. And by the fact that you're down there around an 8 or so indicates that that mic is really hot coming into your radio. And at some point, it'd probably be lower, like around a 3 it could start to overload your front end of your radio, if you follow what I'm saying there.
Load your front end of your radio, if you follow what I'm saying there.
I understand. I tell you what, I'm going to let you take someone else, and I'm going to put I'm going to put my desk mic back on this radio and see what we've got. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that would. Is it handy?
Yeah, that would. Is it handy?
Yeah, it takes. Well, yeah, it won't take. It takes me. I have to pop the face off of this radio to plug it in, but yeah, I can do that pretty quick. Hang on.
Alrighty, because I am catching some distortion, and I'm wondering if it might be mic overload because your mic level is so low, and you're getting obviously a correct ALC level, so it just seems like that mic is really hot going into your mic. I would like to see your radio mic level around a 30 or 40 or 50, somewhere in there. So we'll see when you get that desk mic plugged in where it goes.
Somewhere in there. So we'll see when you get that desk mic plugged in where it goes.
Yeah, I've got the desk mic on. I had to put the gain up to 30. I'll bet you that's a whole bunch better.
Oh, Jesus. Just beautiful. I think we're on the track of something here now. That you won't believe the difference that makes. And maybe if you listen back to your audio, you'll hear what I'm saying there. All right, so let's move to 15 seconds and tell me about your antenna system again, if you would like.
15 seconds and tell me about your antenna system again, if you would like.
Okay, my antenna system's a bushcraft R5 vertical, sitting up about 20 feet on a tower, anchored to the side of my garage so it doesn't tip over, and the antenna we're using right now is a Hustler ground-mounted vertical.
Roger. Now, really check your radio real quick to see if you have bumped your clarifier on there. We're at, should be 718800. Check your frequency real quick, because it sounds like it might be just a tad high now.
Check your frequency real quick, because it sounds like it might be just a tad high now.
Yeah, okay, and I locked it too, so we can't make that mistake again. ALC looks pretty good right here.
Yes, sir. However, you're thin now, but we're on the right track, and this microphone is a whole lot better, sir, than what you were running. Yeah, you were so hot that you were actually distorted in your mic front end because that mic was so high output. Roger?
Mic front end because that mic was so high output. Roger?
Okay, I'm going to make a couple of quick adjustments. Take me a few minutes to make all these adjustments. I watched a YouTube video about a fella adjusting his microphone on this radio, and he said he spent a lot of time talking to a fellow who helped him set it up so it worked pretty well. And it actually sounds like I think he was talking to you. I'm going to put it back to those settings and see what we get.
I'd prefer that we just go ahead from here, sir. Your mid-range is flat, Roger?
That we just go ahead from here, sir. Your mid-range is flat, Roger?
Okay, so let me get back to the mid-range.
Yeah, mid-range should be flat, should have been flat, should always be flat. Mid-range should always be flat.
Flat should always be flat. Mid-range should always be flat.
Not to overmake a point, but the mid-range should always be flat.
Overmake a point, but the mid-range should always be flat.
Get a tattoo on the forehead. Mid-range is always flat.
Get a tattoo on the forehead. Mid-range is always flat.
Probably be better on your arm or something. Not many people can see their forehead. Not their forehead, anyway, unless they're really strange.
Not their forehead, anyway, unless they're really strange.
Hello, Barney. What are we doing?
Hello, Barney. What are we doing?
I'm heading for the mid-range adjustment. I'm probably off frequency again. Too many buttons to push.
Yeah, one of those days. Welcome to my world.
Yeah, one of those days. Welcome to my world.
All right, so we're mid-range flat now, Roger.
All right, so we're mid-range flat now, Roger.
The mid-range frequency is at 1300. The level is 0, and the bandwidth is 6.
Excellent, excellent. Now, go to your bass EQ, crank in +3 bass EQ boost. Bass +3 boost from where it is.
Bass +3 boost from where it is.
It's set at 10 right now. I can't go any higher.
On your bass, that's the bottom one. That's like 150 cycles or something like that.
The bottom one. That's like 150 cycles or something like that.
Yes, sir. Bass, the bottom. Bass.
Yes, sir. Bass, the bottom. Bass.
You have to go up in the menu to get to the bass. That was backwards to me. Okay, I went up 3. What's that do for it?
It's coming along. Give me 2 more. 2 more boost bass from where it is.
It's coming along. Give me 2 more. 2 more boost bass from where it is.
Okay, now we got it up to a 5.
All right. Now tell me what you like about your radio again.
Tell me what you like about your radio again.
I like my radio because it's starting to work a little bit better. I hope we get there tonight.
Yes, sir. Me too. I think you're there, sir. I would like to hear you. If you have a little radio story to give me, I would appreciate that. And I think everything is copacetic now.
Appreciate that, and I think everything is copacetic now.
Okay, after several years of trying, I finally got my license. I built a station. I got it on the air. I finally got my wife interested and managed to ship her off to a couple of local courses, and we actually got her a license. She passed her code test. That was an act of God.
All right, very good. I think we're there. I think we are there, Barney. Where are you located, Barney?
Are there, Barney? Where are you located, Barney?
I'm in Grafton, New York. I'm about 20 miles northeast of Albany, New York, the capital of New York State.
Excellent, excellent. I had not written that down for some reason, but I got you now. All right, I think we have it done. And again, we're going to try something new this time. So when you go to YouTube, do a call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That's KC9VKV logbook. And that will take you to our 1900 Qso-Vlogs. And this one should be right at the top, number 1. Now, the thing is, you know, when you have a big list like that, YouTube doesn't always make the transition to change the nomenclature of the list. But it will be cut number one on the KC9VKV logbook page. It will be number 1, and we will have it posted around noon tomorrow. Roger?
Have it posted around noon tomorrow. Roger?
Roger, Jim. I wrote that down. I took a note. It'll be interesting to hear myself. So you think we've arrived, and that's great news, because tomorrow's sweepstakes and the way I'm going to go. I got the top score in my area, in my division here, in the Hudson Division last year for the grouping I was in. So I'm going to see if I can do a little better this year.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Now, one other thing before we go, after we've done all this EQ stuff, I want you to go back to your ALC and double-check that your proper level is mid-scale to 2/3. Because when you do all this EQ stuff, you got to go back at the end and verify that you're still mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Back at the end and verify that you're still mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Roger. And yes, I'd have to say we're usually running mid-scale, and on the peaks we're getting up close to the end.
Okay, now I think you changed mic position from that last time than what you were before. So I want you to be very deliberate about your placement to that microphone. I want you to go 1 inch closer than where you were on that last transmission.
I want you to go 1 inch closer than where you were on that last transmission.
Okay, I believe I'm a little bit closer right here. Is that what you're looking for?
Yes, sir. It's like you walk through the door.
Yes, sir. It's like you walk through the door.
Okay, I was a little far away before, so it sounds better when I'm up a little closer to it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just crystal clear. Make a note of where you are. Run that mic only that way, Roger. And what you might want to do is, for the next week or so, why don't you just pull up your ALC and watch your ALC as something to do, and start developing a relationship with your ALC and your voice. And in other words, as you look at the ALC, you'll realize what your voice is doing, and you'll be able to command the ALC to do what you want it to do just by looking at it as you're speaking, Roger.
To do what you want it to do just by looking at it as you're speaking, Roger.
I've got you, Jim. I just made one more click here. I adjusted the microphone has a low and a high range switch in the bottom of the mic. I put it up to the higher range. Does that help at all?
You thinned out amazing. You don't want that. You just thinned out too much. You're very thin. Go back to where it was.
You just thinned out too much. You're very thin. Back to where it was.
Barney, I'm starting to lose you, sir. You want to be full fidelity. I have a Qso-Vlog on my logbook that talks about what happens when you thin out versus full range. You should check that out also. It's called Qso or Contest. That's in that logbook. It's about the 5th cut or so. Qso or Contest, and it graphically shows what happens when you roll off that bottom end and get sharp. Your volume just drops in half, at least, or even more. Roger.
Your volume just drops in half, at least, or even more. Roger.
Okay, I've got you. I brought the switch back in the microphone to where it should be. Is that helping any?
All right, and be sure and work that mic, maybe 2 inches away. Let me hear you 2 inches away from that microphone.
Maybe 2 inches away. Let me hear you 2 inches away from that microphone.
Yeah, Barney, I'm starting to lose you, sir. Try one more time, 2 inches away from your mic.
Barney, I'm starting to lose you, sir. Try one more time, 2 inches away from your mic.
Okay, I'm about 2 inches away from the mic in this position here. The ALC looks very good.
Yes, sir. Run with it like that. Roger, roger.
Yes, sir. Run with it like that. Roger, roger.
Roger, roger, Jim. I thank you for your time.
Yes, sir, Barney. 73, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, and may your contest go well. Roger?
Weekend, and may your contest go well. Roger?
Roger, roger. 73, Jim. KC9VKV. 73, KB2, KDY.
Roger, roger, Barney. 73, sir. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. Hey, if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Net. Hey, if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Well, we have a heavy breather now. Lord. This is KC9VKV, louder station, try it again.
This is KC9VKV, louder station, try it again.
Whiskey Victor 8, Bravo Sierra.
Bravo Sierra, sir. Come back with your call sign slowly, phonetically.
Yeah, good afternoon. I believe it's Jim. Call sign here is Whiskey Victor 8, Bravo Sierra. Name is Butch. We're located in West Virginia.
Roger, roger. So you are 8 land, is that a roger?
That's a roger.
Alrighty. And what's the name there again, please?
The name here is Butch. We go by Butch. The official one's Quentin, but we've been called Butch just about our entire life. So heard down around the band, heard you in there, sounded very good, and given a little audio check there. Had a new radio here, and just was curious what you thought of it and what kind of settings I needed to have on it.
Roger. Well, I think we can get it a lot fatter. You're right now running fairly unprocessed, so your average peak modulation is probably 30%. And what we want to do is take that up to 80 to 85%. And it starts with you engaging your compressor at a 3. It's a token amount, but it does what we need it to do. So the setup starts with the compressor on and at a 3. Roger?
Okay, roger, roger. Have the compressor on. It looks like it takes me a little bit just getting used to this radio here. Don't have any EQ on. It is disabled. But the compressor is on, and it looks like it has about 3 settings, low, medium, and high.
Yeah, so we want to be on the low on that compressor. Roger?
Okay, roger, roger. We're on the low on the compressor now.
All right, now your unbelievable bandwidth all the way across the low end is really, you're down to 25 cycles, sir, on the bottom end. So what we want to do is we want to keep that bottom end, but we want to shape it just a little bit. So I would like to go to your EQ. Normally I would go to your ALC, but I want to get to your EQ, and maybe we can shape it just a little bit before we go to the ALC. So if you could bring up your EQ page for a moment.
Hey, roger, roger. Have the EQ page up, and the transmit EQ is showing disabled.
All right, we want to enable the transmit EQ, and we want to go, is that 3-band, 8-band, or what?
It's an 8-band EQ.
All right, so what we want to do is the bottommost control, which is it labeled like 50 cycles, 40 cycles, something like that?
Yeah, it's showing 63 hertz on here.
All right, we wanted to roll out 63 hertz. We want to just get rid of it, minus 10 or whatever it is. Just roll that out, Roger.
Okay, roger. That's set at minus 10.
All right. Bring it back to minus 5.
Okay, right there's minus 5.
Sounds pretty good. Let's leave it there. All right. So your EQ should be flat on from there, is it flat all the way through, like 750 cycles to 1.5? All that should be flat, Roger?
Okay, Roger. Yeah, there was the 2K and the 4K was up just to +1, but they're all flat now.
All right, so that 2K, why don't you roll that, I'm sorry, not roll. Why don't you bring that up +3 on 2K, +3 2K, Roger?
Sorry about that. It wanted to be a little bit stubborn. Okay, we're up to +3 on the 2K.
All right, go to the one above that. That's is that 4K?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, 4K +6.
Okay, 4K is set to +6.
All right, now let's go to the ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you speak fairly rapidly, 100, 200, 300, I want you to adjust your mic gain until your ALC meter is rolling mid-scale to 2/3. Mid-scale to 2/3 on the ALC by way of mic gain manipulation as you speak fairly quick cadence.
Okay, that looks like it's about 2/3 on the ALC.
All right, I might want to speak just a little bit faster because you know the only accurate way to measure your ALC is to keep it up, and the only way you can keep it up is through a fairly quick cadence. That's what I'm saying, like 100, 100, 100, 100, or whatever you want to say. But that quick cadence, it helps you see what that meter is actually doing. If you go 1, 2, 3, the meter never has a chance to actually reflect what it's reading.
Okay, see if that helps any. We don't usually speak too fast, but we tried to speed it up a little bit there.
Yes, sir. Looking good. Now, I think we could go back to your bottom, your base frequency there, and make that minus. It's -5 now. We want to make it -4. Is that a Roger?
Okay, Roger. We have it back to the base is -4.
Okay, go to that 2KC control and pull that back one click from where it is. The 2KC control, pull it back one click from where it is.
Hey, Roger. 2K back one click.
All right, sounding good now. Your compressor's on at a 3, Roger?
Roger, compressor is on. Sorry about just learning this new radio. Compressor is on, and it is set to low. Has a low, mid, or low DX and DX plus setting.
Roger. Yeah, let's do that. You're sounding really good now. Why don't you, if you got a radio story, I'd love to hear a radio story from you.
Okay. Well, hey, I appreciate the radio check here. Like I say, this is a fairly new radio for me. Taking a leap into the SDR world. Kind of grew up here on some of the tube models, and then went to some of the hybrid tube models, and then went from there. The operating antenna here is an old Mosley 33 that was hit by lightning. I rebuilt it. Had to do a lot of rewrapping of the components, the coils on it, and got it up here last year. And enjoying getting back into ham radio here a little bit. Just about ready to retire, so I wanted to get something set up that was usable. And Jim, thanks very much for helping me out get this thing set up. I believe it's KC9VKV WV8BS.
Roger Butch. And where are you geographically?
We are in the eastern part of West Virginia, just where the Panhandle kind of meets West Virginia. The Panhandle kind of meets the main part of West Virginia, just south of Kaiser, West Virginia, and about 25 miles south of Cumberland, Maryland.
Roger. And what radio are you running right now?
The Flex 6400M.
All right. Now, might want to let's check the proximity to microphone. Why don't you come about about 3 inches off that mic and let me hear you.
Okay, Jim. There's about that's about 3 inches further off. That puts me about 6.5 inches away now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. 3 inches total. Just move yourself about 3 inches away from the microphone.
Okay, there is about 3 inches from the mic.
Oh, beautiful. Run it just like that, and make sure you keep that proximity to microphone in mind, because that's just the ideal place. And further, it might be good if you would pull your ALC out and be watching your ALC as you speak, and then you can see what's going on with that. That the ALC is what it's all about. And so as you pull that ALC out so you can see it as you're speaking, and control that ALC by your voice. Roger.
Oh, Roger. Where I just pulled that out and was looking at it where you said it sounds best here, and I kind of got a good idea exactly where it's at here now, so we really appreciate that.
Yes, sir, Butch, and when at all possible, get a windscreen for that microphone. It's not a major thing, but I did hear a few plosives along the way. So you could go to your music store or wherever, but get a nice little foam windscreen that would fit over that mic. Roger?
Roger. I appreciate that. This don't have any windscreen or anything on it, just a desk microphone, and I will look that up and get me one here and put on it.
Yes, sir. That would be the absolute perfect thing. You probably will achieve perfection with that foam windscreen, Roger.
Roger. Appreciate that. And Jim, where are you located at? You sound very good here. Audio is excellent. Good signal.
Yes, sir. We're just across the river from Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville, home of fast women and beautiful horses.
All right, and don't forget Louisville Sluggers. I guess they're still in business down there. So, spent several weeks here in Louisville not too long ago for a meeting. We kind of oversee the forest health issues here in West Virginia. And so we get around to several forest health meetings around the country, and was down there not too long ago. Beautiful area, love the horses, and love the old baseball bats.
Yes, sir. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think they have a stadium. I'm pretty sure that they have a little Slugger Stadium, Roger.
Roger. Well, Jim, if you think this thing's set up good, I won't hold you. It's been an extreme pleasure talking with you here. And very appreciative of you helping me get this thing dialed in here right. Couldn't really tell. Tried to watch a couple videos, but to try and get it set up close. But obviously it needed to be fine-tuned here a little bit.
Roger. Well, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. And this will be number 1 of 1,900 Qso-Vlog recordings in a list. And so we have, in that front end of that logbook, we have a lot of different stuff that you might find interesting in addition to this Aircheck. Roger.
Roger, Jim. Well, I will definitely check that out. I really appreciate your help. It's been fantastic. Hopefully always going well down there in the Louisville area. Everything's going good for you. And with the COVID the way it is, it makes it hard for a lot of people to get out. So ham radio is a good release for that.
Roger. 73, sir. You have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. Sounding good. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net, and we are approaching where we turn into what do we turn into? I forget now. We turned into something at 5 o'clock, so we got about 9 minutes. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Thanks, Jim. Take care, WV8BS.
Roger, 73, sir. All right, anybody out there needs a little radio check? This is KC9VKV listening.
A little radio check. This is KC9VKV listening.
I copied somebody down in Georgia. Loudest station, try it again, please.
I copied somebody down in Georgia. Loudest station, try it again, please.
Now, I just heard somebody that was really loud, but I'm not hearing them now. Loudest station, try it again.
It was really loud, but I'm not hearing them now. Loudest station, try it again.
Station Indian Juliet, try it again slowly, phonetically. Roger, Roger.
Station Indian Juliet, try it again slowly, phonetically. Roger, Roger.
Roger, Roger. This is Kilo, November 4, Papa Whiskey Juliet.
Roger, Roger. And are you transmitting from the foreland?
Transmitting from the foreland.
Roger, I am. I'm in Crystal River, Florida, and the name here is Gary. Germany, Alpha, Romeo, Yankee.
Roger, Jeremy. My switching is there we go. No? Huh. I have got I have to make a sledgehammer adjustment here. I don't know why that is. But sometimes you just have to I can't get there from here. There we go. All right. Hey! No. Oh, well, I'm going to turn it off. I have this geographic map of the United States, and I have these LEDs strategically placed to represent regions. And I have a rotary switch, and something's gone phooey with the rotary switch because it's picking up 2 regions at once. I got to check who did the wiring on that. I think it was me. All right, and that PWJ, what's the name there, sir?
And that PWJ, what's the name there, sir?
Well, the name here is Gary, Germany, Alpha, Romeo, Yankee Company.
Roger, Gary, and where are you located geographically?
Gary, and where are you located geographically?
On the Gulf side of Florida, a little town called Crystal River, 100 miles north of Tampa. Roger.
All right, so you're in Florida, Roger. Well, let me just see here. I am picking you up on the Georgia SDR, but I usually do pretty well on Milford. So let me just see if I can bring Milford up, and this won't be but a minute, he said. Come on, folks. Let's just see what goes on here. Oh, shoot. I hit the wrong button. I have 4 tablets here that are my SDR receivers, and they're right in front of me. But sometimes I get crazy with my my stylus and I hit the wrong thing. I think I'm pretty close now. All right, Gary, and what radio are you running, sir?
I think I'm pretty close now. All right, Gary, and what radio are you running, sir?
I've got a FT2000, and that's about it. My mic went bad. I swapped it out just now, and I thought I'd see if it would even do me any good.
Oh, it's doing you real well. It's doing you real well. Let's just review your setup. Our setup starts with a compressor engaged at a 3. It's a token amount, but it does exactly what you need it to do. So a compressor on and at a 3. Roger?
What you need it to do. So a compressor on and at a 3. Roger?
Well, I'm afraid I don't know enough about the radio to even get in the menus. I just checking the mic out to make sure it was, after I swapped it out, it was working.
Yes, sir. Well, looking at your audio, you do have about a 3 dB dynamic range now, so that's what we're looking for. Why don't you give me about 10 or 15 seconds and tell me about your antenna system so I can hear you, Roger?
Seconds and tell me about your antenna system so I can hear you, Roger?
Well, the antenna's not much. It's a homemade XB, 20 meters. 20 meters, and it's up about 25, 30 foot. And I've got a SB200 that I just got through rebuilding. It seems to be okay. I'm still learning how to use it, which I've never really had amps before, but I don't run it much. I run it about 300 watts, and that seems to be okay. Back to you.
Yes, sir, Gary. I think you're doing really well, sir. I would suggest that you get a foam windscreen for that microphone. I did hear some transients there, so I want you to run that mic just like you are, but at your convenience sometime go to down to your local music store or wherever and pick you up a foam windscreen that you can just slip over that microphone, Roger.
Pick you up a foam windscreen that you can just slip over that microphone, Roger.
Roger, Roger. This is just a temporary mic anyway till I get new cables and figure out what's wrong with this doggone MD100 I got. So we'll do that. I sure do appreciate your help, my friend. And I'll get out of your way because I don't want to bother you too much. Thanks a lot. This is Kilo from November 4, Papa Whiskey, Juliet, saying 7-3.
Roger, Gary. Well, now, you know, I think you're selling that microphone you're using a short shrift there. That's a nice microphone, nice sounding microphone. I think, I would use that microphone. It's just a beautiful sounding microphone, Roger.
I would use that microphone. It's just a beautiful sounding microphone, Roger.
Roger, it's a hand mic, but it fits my hand good and it's convenient. I can just kind of lay back in my chair and not worry about it, right?
That's it, Roger. That's it, Roger. Some folks really feel inconvenienced by the hand mic, but that microphone really sounds nice. And, obviously the best way to run that mic is pull it to the side of your mouth, to the corner of your lips, and talk across it. Try not to talk directly into it, or you will get a lot of plosives, but pull it to the corner of your mouth and talk across it, Roger?
Plosives, but pull it to the corner of your mouth and talk across it, Roger?
Hey, thanks for the advice. We'll try that. I didn't know that. Of course, there's a lot about this ham radio stuff I don't know. Roger.
Yes, sir, Gary. Now, if you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. That's KC9VKV logbook. And it'll take you to this recording, and we'll post it up on YouTube around noon tomorrow. Around noon tomorrow, Roger?
Around noon tomorrow. Around noon tomorrow, Roger?
Roger. I sure appreciate that.
Roger, and that's also our logbook has about 1,900 recorded Qso-Vlogs, something for everybody. So you might peruse some of the other stuff that's there after you listen to this Aircheck. This Aircheck should be the #1 cut, regardless of what it says on the. As you look at the title before you open it up, it may refer to the one last week, but in reality, it will be this one, because YouTube, sometimes on large lists like this one of ours is 1,900, they take a little time in updating. So you go to YouTube, do a call it a search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. We'll take you to this recording, open it up. This should be cut 1, Roger?
To this recording, open it up. This should be cut 1, Roger?
Roger. We'll do that because we spend a lot of time on YouTube watching radio stuff, trying to learn the ropes. And again, I want to say I sure do appreciate your help, my friend.
Roger, Gary. 73, sir. Have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. And I see by the clock on the wall a dead fly. No, we always use that, but we got to get out of here. We've enjoyed it this afternoon. Hope you have, and I hope you participated. If you did and want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording, and it will be uploaded by noon tomorrow, all things being equal and the creeks don't rise. And in between time, we got to get out of here. So this is KC9VKV returning the frequency to normal, average, everyday amateur radio use. 73. This is KC9VKV clear.
73. This is KC9VKV clear.
Hey, Jim. make sure you have yourself a wonderful weekend. It's your friend up in Canada. No, not Montreal. 3VMD. Have a great one, buddy.
Thank you very much. Stay warm up that way, Roger.
Thank you very much. Stay warm up that way, Roger.
Yeah, very good, Jim. Hey, you know what? You barely went over 5. You had not even a chance to turn into a pumpkin.
That's what it was. I forgot what it was. That's right. I turned into a pumpkin. See? Old age, man. Starting to forget things.
Turn into a pumpkin. See? Old age, man. Starting to forget things.
Hey, very good, Jim. Just want to wish you the best there. In case we don't get a hold of you next week, make sure you have yourself a happy, blessed, happy Thanksgiving there from your neighbors close to the border in Tito, up around Unionville, VA3VMD.
Roger, you shoot, sir. 73, and thanks for checking in. We'll catch you later. It's KC9VKV, move clear.
Checking in. We'll catch you later. It's KC9VKV, move clear.